What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Next Gen Pod. The number 9th ranked prospect on Rivals, Baba Oladotun, has committed to Buzz Williams in the Maryland Terrapins. That's a big time gift for Buzz. Joe, give us the rundown. How did this happen? Because we thought it was going to be Arkansas, but now he's committed to Maryland.
Yeah, huge get for Maryland. Huge. I think if you would have asked me last week, I would have probably said pretty confidently that he was going to go to Arkansas, or that's where I felt it was at least trending. I think kind of as the recruitment went on, I think Baba ultimately wanted to stay a little bit closer to home. And it really came down to Georgetown and Maryland, both of which like 30 minutes from his house. And I just don't think he wanted to go as far away. But ultimately, Buzz Williams wins out, and I think Baba is their highest ranked recruit, or excuse me, he is the highest ranked recruit to commit to Buzz, I think, ever. So absolutely massive. I know Terps fans are absolutely ecstatic. So this is huge. This is huge, and usually all of us, we kind of track these recruitments, right? And you kind of get an understanding of where it might be headed. This one surprised me a little bit. I'm not going to lie, I counted out Maryland. I really did. So whatever magic they worked, it happened, and props to them.
Yeah, for you to be surprised by this says a whole lot. So especially this happening just fairly fast, to be honest with you. Jamie, how does he fit at Buzz in Maryland?
Well, you kind of look at what he is at his core. Baba is a shot maker. He has the shot making upside with positional size in that 6'9" range, good length and fluid athleticism. But his ability to create space and get open looks at the rim consistently from the perimeter is super intriguing. With kind of what he brings, he reclassified recently from the 2027 class into the 2026 class. His December birthday gives him eligibility into the NBA draft along with his 2026 class. There and you watch him play. He played this summer with Team Durant on the Nike EYBL circuit. Started off in the 16U with his normal class and moved up to 17U, which preempted his reclassification into the class. And he averaged almost 14 points a game. He shot the ball efficiently, and he showcased kind of that high level shot making stuff that you want to see. And we've seen Buzz Williams give his shot makers a lot of rope to play with. You have Wade Taylor, who ended his career 14th at Texas A&M in career field goal attempts in the SEC. For a career, if you're a shot maker, if you're a proven shot maker, you're a guy who come in and makes shots. Buzz Williams has shown that he can give you, and he will give you rope in order to go out and make shots and make plays for his team.
Joe, you mentioned that this you believe is the highest ranked recruit in Buzz Williams' career. Talk about how this could, Baba's impact year one, or do you feel like there may be some pressure that Buzz has to make this work? There's obviously a kid that lives probably 30 minutes from the school. So talk about what his impact could look like his freshman year.
Yeah, I do think there's probably some pressure for things to go super well here. I think, he was on some sites, he was ranked as the number 1 ranked player in the country when he was still in the 2027 class prior to reclassifying. With him staying closer to home and landing at Maryland, I do think that Buzz is an experienced coach. He's done this for a long time. I'm sure he has a plan in place for Baba. Otherwise, they wouldn't have decided they wanted to go there. Mm-hmm. But overall, I would say that there is a little bit of, this kind of needs to work with him being such a highly touted player. And I don't think Buzz has, coached someone like Baba before, or I think this is also maybe his first 5-star commitment in general. He's always went after the lower ranked guys, right? The 3-star guys, that's what he's kind of made a career of going after those, players that others counted out. So yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see his development and what things look like. But as Jamie mentioned, with Wade Taylor, he's going to put the ball in Baba's hands, and there's going to be a lot of trust in Baba to get plenty of shots up.
Well, I'll tell you too, what's kind of interesting with this connection is that Buzz Williams was the head coach at Virginia Tech from 2014 to 2019. Obviously, Baba's father, Ibrahim Oladotun played at Virginia Tech in 89 and 91. So obviously they didn't coincide there, but there's familiarity, obviously, with Baba's dad playing there and Buzz being the head coach there. While Buzz was at Virginia Tech, not the exact same player, but he coached Nickeil Alexander-Walker at Virginia Tech, top 50 recruit, currently in the NBA, more of a guard to Baba's wing or whatnot. But there's a little bit of familiarity there with Buzz Williams as a coach and what he does for a program and what he's able to develop as a program. When you add in the flexibility that he gives his shot makers, you add in how close Maryland is to the campus. There's going to be a little bit of a runway to allow Baba to be Baba and to make freshman mistakes and to continue to learn and grow within the system and still getting his stuff up there. This makes a lot of sense. Obviously, Calipari at Arkansas has had a ton of NBA guys, and you see what he's done there. So that makes sense. That's why Arkansas was involved. But you look at Baba, he's a guy who stayed at his public high school for all 4 years, hasn't necessarily gone anywhere to the scholastic schools and all that type of stuff, and had a local homebody and a little bit of familiarity with Buzz Williams from the Virginia Tech time and all that. And, a lot of the stuff kind of adds up to making sense to what, this is what, year one for Buzz Williams' first full recruiting class, or year two, to make a splash here. It makes a lot of sense why Maryland would pursue, and it makes a lot of sense as to why Oladotuns would listen.
Like Jamie said, this is Buzz's first year, so I want to really hear from both of you guys. How does this impact the years upcoming for Buzz Maryland as far as trying to recruit five-star guys or keeping guys at home with them getting Baba? How impactful is that?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think, like we touched on just a little bit ago, like it's got to work with Baba, but if it works, then there's going to be a ripple effect of that. If it fails, then that's the opposite. Like Buzz, like we've talked about, like Buzz hasn't been getting, like he's not known for getting 5 stars, one and dones. He's made it, like I said, a career off of getting the 3-star, like fringe top 150 guys. So hopefully this goes right. And if it does, and if Baba is incredibly successful at Maryland, then more and more top ranked players will want to go to Maryland and play for Buzz. That's my belief.
Yeah, I think Joe hit the nail on the head there. I think that when you look at it, anytime you're recruiting and you're, a state university or whatnot, you want to build a fence around your backyard. You want to keep the best players at home, let them see that they can come and get their success staying at home, playing in front of their friends and families and all that type of stuff. However, just like Joe said, this has to go well. If things go well, it's going to open up huge doors, I believe, for the Maryland program. What Buzz Williams is able to do and accomplish. Obviously, we know the DMV area location year after year churns out highly ranked players, highly regarded players, pros even, a lot of times as well. So to be able to lock up your backyard is huge. The signing day, they get them. That's big for Maryland. Now the process of him being on campus and developing him into the pro is the next big step there. But things are lining up at current time. Things are lining up pretty well. And I agree 100% with Joe. Things have to go well.
It's a different coaching staff, but Derek Queen was a great example with Kevin Willard last year, at Maryland, like a Baltimore kid staying home and becoming a lottery pick. Yeah. Right. So
and having a good year.
Yeah, exactly. So like it worked out in that situation. A kid stays home, and obviously I know it is a different coaching staff, but still Maryland is doing it. Hopefully doing it again here with Baba.
Yeah, I agree with y'all, especially with Baba, his like inside out shot making. What I liked about him playing with Team Durant at the time when he was a 227, they say he was playing up, but just playing in that 17U. I thought his effort was there. I really liked how he adjusted like in between halves. Like first half, if he had a slow first half, he figured it out and was like getting to his spots better, playing through the physicality and scoring. Baba just someone that's like continued like getting better and learning how to play through the physicality and all that. And I just think like there's a lot of upside with him, especially with his shot making. He can get to the free throw line. He can shoot on the perimeter. I know his 3-point percentage weren't the greatest in URBL, but I feel like he's a better shooter than kind of what the numbers show. And I think he has a lot of upside as a shooter, especially off the bounce and off the catch. So big time get for Maryland. Baba Oladotun has committed to Maryland. Buzz Williams, highest recruit in his coaching career.